Let's talk about the money question. What if you paid good money for something? Can you declutter it? Like, how is that possible? This is something that stops so many people in their tracks. They're like, I can't get rid of that. I paid good money for that. And so that's it. And they're done. And they can't proceed on with their decluttering. And they really suffer a whole lot because of it. So I want to talk about that today because I have some thoughts, as you can imagine, right? So if you are watching this on the replay, drop a hashtag replay. If you're watching me live, leave me an emoji in the comments so I can see that you are here, and I'm so glad to be here with you. This is the money question, right? Have you all ever been stopped by this? What if I paid good money for that? Here's what I have to think about that. First of all, let's use specific language, okay? Not I paid good money for that. How much did you pay? Maybe you paid $10. Maybe you paid $100. Maybe you paid $5,000 for that thing, but how much did you spend? Because here's the truth. If you say, I just paid $10 for that, then it's like, well, maybe it's really not that big a deal, right? Or maybe it's $100. I paid $100 for that thing a couple years ago, and now I'm considering getting rid of it. That puts it more in perspective, and at least you have more information. You have more data in order to make your decision. So it's really important. Let's get specific, because what is good money anyways? Like, I don't even know what that means. Is there good money? Is there bad money? I mean, there's the whole phrase, right? Don't throw good money after bad, but that doesn't really give us a whole lot either. So let's get specific. How much did you pay and when? Maybe you paid $500, but it was 20 years ago. It's not going to be the same. You're not going to make the same decisions as if you paid $500 yesterday for that item, okay? It makes a difference, right? So get specific. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to be like, okay, so what? So what that I paid X amount of dollars? And really ask yourself that question, because it's not an automatic, there's no rule, there's no law that says that you cannot get rid of something that you paid money for in the past. That's not a rule. Maybe you're making it a rule. Maybe that's the way you've always lived, but you don't have to follow that. You have complete freedom over what you do with your possessions. So really question it. Don't just let yourself stop there. Don't let your brain is going to want to stick with what is familiar and what you've always done, because that feels safe and, and simple, but you don't have to do that. Okay. So what did I paid money for it? And what does that mean? Does that mean I can't get rid of it? Is that actually true? Or is that just something my brain is offering to me that I don't have to accept? Okay. Makes a really big difference. And then the last thing that I want to offer to you is, I read this in a book yesterday. It was like, you may make a mistake. Maybe you bought something and you didn't use it. Maybe you bought an item of clothing and it's got tags on it and it's in the closet. You never used it, never worn, right? So maybe that was a mistake. You thought you were going to like it. You wouldn't have bought it if you didn't think you were going to like it. And it turns out you didn't like it, didn't work, didn't fit, whatever, right? So it was a mistake. So you can make that mistake one time when you did it, or you can keep making that mistake over and over and over again. You can relive that mistake a million times in your head. You can remake that mistake, and you can suffer from that mistake repeatedly by continuing to feel bad about it, by continuing to hold on to that thing. It's like, I can undo that mistake if I hold on to it. Well, it doesn't work like that. That mistake that happened. That's a thing. But it doesn't mean that you have to keep making it. And you're probably making it worse if you're hanging on to this old mistake from the past. You're making it worse by hanging on to it. So not only did you, buy something that you didn't end up using, let's say, but now it's taking up space that you could be using for something else, taking up space. Maybe it's creating feelings for you. You're having thoughts about this item. It's creating feelings that you now have to deal with. So this mistake is growing. We're not actually like redeeming our mistakes by hanging on to these things from the past that we don't want. We're actually like enlarging them and perpetuating them. It's like the opposite of what we want to do, right? Does that make sense? So think about that really carefully when you're making your decluttering decisions. This is really, really common. People want to hang on to things because they're not sure, or they're afraid, or it seems like the easy thing to do. But it ends up creating a whole lot of drama and a whole lot of unnecessary suffering for people. Now, every time I see it, I'll remind me of my mistake. Absolutely, right? When we just let go, then it's like, okay, we're getting rid, we're moving on from that mistake. If you don't let the thing go, you can't move on. You just keep reliving it over and over again. I don't know about you, but I want to move on from my mistakes instead of remembering them, like for forever and ever. I needed to hear this broadcast. It has my name written all over it. Fantastic. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, so that is my pep talk for you. Let it go. You're not saving any money by hanging on to that thing, but you are wasting time, space, energy, attention, all of those things. And you know what? That stuff, those things that I just named, they are so much more valuable than the dollars that you put into that item. Okay? So give it a try. Let me know how it goes.